I'm Yana and I'm running the operations at Wives. And I heard that you got really cool 2 days with a lot of great talks. So I'm really happy to finish this conference. Nice.
Just ignore me.
So I want to finish up this conference with a talk on happiness. But before we jump into it, I want to ask, how many of you have ever wished somebody leka работа? Leka работа. Okay, quite a lot of us, the Bulgarians. So let's look into what is leka работа. If I get this one more. There we go. So, работа, work. I'm making a point here. Bear with me. Leka, easy. Okay, so basically we've been wishing each other for decades, centuries, and probably thousands of years. We have been wishing each other in Bulgaria, take it easy, get over it. And this is something really strange. We have decided that work is the enemy that we are fighting with every single day. When I was 18, I got a chance to travel and study abroad. I went to Denmark for 5 years. For 5 years, I learned all in all 3 things, so I'm going to share them with you. First off, Denmark is famous with Vikings, being obvious here. Lego and arbejdsglæde. This really weirdly looking word actually means happiness at work. It means joy and satisfaction, fulfillment of the things you're doing at work. So just like our leka работа, the Danes have sat down together, a pretty small society, and have decided that they are going to be happy about work, because work is something worth to be happy about. 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, we started Swipes with my 2 co-founders in Denmark, a Dane and a Bulgarian. So we were sitting between those 2 cultures. And to bridge them, we decided that we are going to challenge the status quo in Bulgaria, and we are going to create the happiest place to work for. We are not going to create it over there, we're going to create it right here in Bulgaria. And I'm going to tell you why this matters at the end of this conversation. But for now, I'm going to tell you the 3 things that we do at Swipes to foster happiness at work, and the 3 things that you can take and start doing tomorrow with your teams. So let's get things straight. Happiness at work is not about fake smiling when you're crying from the inside. And it's not about holding hands, singing kumbaya around the fire. It's not about perks, and it's not about paychecks. Happiness at work is actually about 3 things. It's about purpose, connectivity, and appreciation. And it's about paying close attention to each and every one of your team members and creating for them purpose, connectivity, and appreciation. So how can you imagine those concepts working in practice? It's about knowing where you're headed and how today's task is getting you there. It's about not doing it alone, but doing it with like minds, doing it with people, with a team where you belong and you feel appreciated. And if you already got that, you need to bear with me around 15 more minutes, because they said that I need to talk about 20 minutes. So I'm going to dig deeper into this topic. So we're going to start with purpose. Purpose is about the vision. Where are you headed? And it's about the execution. How are you going to get there? And there are many ways to create purpose for your team or communicate the purpose to your team. You can send them a memo, you can get a meeting, or in Swipes team, you can go to a company retreat. But before I tell you how that works, I want to go into a detailed story, only 10.5 minutes, about how we screwed up in having purpose and how we were on the verge of really losing things. So 5 months ago, me and my co-founder Kasper are walking down the street in Sofia. It's a sunny day, but we got struck by lightning. By a crazy idea, crazy thought, that the product we have been building for the past 2 years, who is now finally successful, it's not the thing we need to build. It's not the right vision to pursue, and we need to start from scratch. We were crazy, but this was the only thing that was in my mind, and it was the only thing that was in his mind, but it wasn't in their minds, because our teammates weren't sitting there arriving at the same conclusions. So imagine, another morning, we walk into the office and we drop the bomb. I think it played out pretty much like that. Hi guys! You know how we're doing this WhatsApp? Everything is going great. Well, that's not what we are going to do. We're going to do a completely new thing. We're going to start from scratch, and we have no validation of it. Are you happy? Are you on board? How do you think they reacted? And how would you have reacted? How do you guys react every time somebody takes a choice instead of you and for you? You hate it. And those guys hated it. And we spent, not because they didn't believe in us or they didn't believe in the vision. They didn't know where we are headed and why the heck should we go there. So we lacked the purpose. And for the next 3 weeks, we were beating our heads down and wondering where the heck should we go. So we decided it's a time for a company retreat. What is a company retreat? A company retreat is a trip where you pack all your shit from the office, you put it in the cars, and you drive in the middle of nowhere or somewhere. We, in that case, drive to the mountains, to Rhodope Mountains close to Chippewa, where there is office in the woods. We go there so that we can align on the vision, and we can create the plan of execution all together, and we can have tons of fun. I'm going to show you how that because I'm super happy about those guys. But also, I'm showing you those photos because I'm making a point that happiness is about taking action. That finding purpose is something that you do all together. And it's not something that you do in 4 walls of your office and you send an email about. Because the reality is that you're out there as an entrepreneur, hiring the smartest people you can find. And if you don't give them the purpose, if you don't make them part of the decisions, they will not stick around for the long term. Okay, so now we got the purpose clear. Now it's about bringing the team together. So connectivity is all about team building. But it's not this one-day event per year. It's not about a weekly retreat. Building the team, it's all about everyday hard work. It's about taking tough talks, it's about aligning on expectations, and it's about opening up when things suck. 1 year and 1 month ago, I was standing on another scene. I was pitching slides to the Development Conference in San Francisco. And we were competing for $25,000. So you can imagine there was almost no pressure on me. But winning or losing before that, we had called our colleagues, Stanimir and Felipe, and said that we failed them. We failed to raise the money when we said that we were going to raise them, and they should just go on a vacation, find another job, and do something else. The guys were really compassionate, and they were humming all the time. Uh-huh, mm-hmm, uh-huh. At the end they said, oh, thanks for letting me know. But what the heck are you talking about? I'm not going anywhere, I'm not leaving the company and finding another job because we will make it. So what happened is that by us opening up, sharing the problems, we created a sense of belonging. We were there on the short term, we were there on the long term. We were there for good and we were there for bad. Luckily, I did win this competition, so we continued. And final point is about appreciation. Appreciation is about recognizing the small, the big things, the individual, the teamwork. And appreciation is really important because it's about me. It's a personal thing. It's a satisfaction. It's the me, see me, and I. I did it. And every one of us loves that. So in order to make the point about appreciation and tell you how we screwed up and learned the hard way that appreciation matters, I'm going to jump again on the time machine and go to January 2014. In January 2014, things looked very different for the Swipes team. It was me, Stefan, and Kasper, three of us. And before we even approached an investor, instead of hi, they said no. So we were in a very bad position. At that point, sorry about that, Stefan. Stefan is a really bad cook. At that point, Stefan even learned how to bake his own bread, so he can eat it for a whole week. And we were obviously really pushing it. And we were pushing it hard without getting anywhere. And things are really easy to get bad when you're at that extent, when you're so deep into the water. And thing for us that really broke it is that our launch went really bad of the premium version, and there was nobody to blame. So we did the only thing that seemed to make sense at that point, which was to turn against each other. Because I was sitting there, and I was thinking, I did my best. I was sure. I worked as hard as I could. It can't be me. It must be him or him. But they were sitting there and thinking exactly the same thing. And we were so unappreciative towards each other. And we were not giving each other the only appreciation it truly mattered at that point of time. So what saved us is that our great friend, investor, and advisor, Lacek, jumped on a 6-hour call with us. He pushed us to say, why do we value the other person? Why do we think he's the right person to work with? Why do we think he's great and she's great? And this is truly the thing that made us persevere, brought back the team spirit, and we kept on going. And as you can see, even having purpose, even having connectivity is not enough for fulfillment. Because sometimes all you need to do is just stop for a moment and say, thank you for being there. Since then at Swipes, we make sure we celebrate everything. We celebrate the small triumphs with whatever we find in the fridge. We celebrate the big triumphs, and we celebrate being together. We dance, and every Friday we have a meeting to appreciate all the achievements we've done in the week. We dance and we sing.
On behalf of the whole Swipes team, I would like to say thank you very much for joining on this journey. Cheers! Cheers! Woo!
work. It's about aligning on the purpose. It's about connecting. And it's about remembering to appreciate each other. It's not about leka, работа. It has nothing to do with it and everything to do with arbejdsglæde. And today, here, I'd like to invite you to join us in creating these great companies in Bulgaria. Companies that care, companies that create cultures, that inspire. Because the stats that say that Bulgaria is the unhappiest place in Europe, screw them! We can do it better. And we are already doing it better. Because we, the entrepreneurs, in this room and out there, we are the people who can turn things around for the better. Thank you very much.